This is Byron and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 214 of The Real Word.
Word is up. Oh, I was hoping for a better pop than that.
Yeah, you're not popping today.
I'm not.
All right. This article's popping. This headline will pop off and smack you in the mouth.
Wow.
Bracket number 1. The housing market is now savagely unhealthy. This is a Housing Wire article. While existing home sales are trending as expected, inventory is down again. Before we get into the data, and I make Bobby edit in about 20
Well,
plus
he's going to have to, unless people have paid to be a member, because you had to screenshot this for me. So
yeah, Nicole's not a paid HW Plus exclusive content like I am.
Exclusive? An exclusive?
Yeah, it's
Did you throw that in there?
No, that's their words, not mine.
No,
It's on their
that's a racket.
I'm on the Housing Wire exclusive. Okay, so I'll break it down, share it with everybody. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. I should probably read the terms and conditions. I think
Why
I
you
can.
had to sign something?
No, I don't know. There's probably terms and conditions.
You had to click a box, I'm sure.
I'm sure I clicked a box, but I think I can talk about it. This is a free world, all right? So when I say that, Nicole, as an agent, when I say the housing market is now savagely unhealthy, as the real estate agent broker that you are, how does that make you feel?
You get a little alarmed.
You're alarmed? Do you agree with it?
Well, I mean, we know exactly where we're at. I don't know that. I think the words are a little aggressive. I mean, savagely unhealthy.
Love the headline.
It's such a headline. It's a grabber. You had me hooked this morning at, I think, 6:32 when you sent the link over, but I couldn't actually read it. So I did enjoy the article as I was, drinking my coffee. But it's a great headline. And is it true? Yes. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, we are in a huge inventory crisis, which is what's causing the headline to say savagely unhealthy.
Savagely.
So, I mean, it's quite a word. I didn't even know that was a word. Savagely. It's not more savage.
This is what Logan Motoshimi goes into here. Just keeps drilling down on the inventory. National Association of Realtors reported that.
and patting himself on the back. He
did do a little patting.
He loved patting himself on the back.
That's
in this
okay.
article.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah,
I got no problem with that, Logan. So National Association of Realtors reported that existing home sales for February came in at a miss of estimates at 6.02 million. The level is still within Logan's 22 forecast. Sales range between 5.74 and 6.16 million. Last year, I discussed levels coming back down to the 5.84 million, and I'm looking for more in 22 at the 5.74 million. Basically, home sales are down January and February. Okay, right. So total home sales, existing home sales are down year over year. Total existing home sales sank 7.2% from January to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 6.02 million in February. So they're down both months because of inventory being down.
I think we talked about that the last episode or two episodes ago. Yeah.
And inventory was at 2 months of inventory, February 21. We're at 1.7 months of inventory supply, however you want to say that, in February, which is up a tick from the 1.6 months in January. So we actually went up a tick. We're starting to get in the spring when you usually will see inventory go up. This article is saying we'll be lucky if we're flat this spring. He doesn't expect it to go up all of that much. Now, here's the thing. I still believe it'll go up more than people think as spring moves on. And he's in the camp, Logan's in the camp of let's get the inventory rates jacked up. He's rooting for inventory rates to continue to go up. He didn't put a number out there. Maybe he's calling 5. Maybe he's calling for 5.25. 5.25 will slow this market down. You want this market to cool? You want inventory to pop? 5.25 is your number.
It's so interesting though, because during 2005, 2006, 5.25 was like amazing. That was an amazing number.
Back then it was, but 2018, the market stopped. The market stopped for a 3-month period when we went to 5.25 across the country. Maybe your market's different. I'm just saying national stats. Yeah. Right now, NAR has us at 870,000 homes available. Housing Wire is saying we need to get between 1.5 and 1.9 roughly million homes for things to level out, for us maybe to get closer to an even market where it's not tipped so far in the seller's favor.
Right.
I don't see us doubling up anytime soon, but I do see us getting over the million mark. And I do see, as interest rates go up, we know they're going to go up. They're sitting at, 4.5, 4.25 right now, depending on the day. A lot of volatility there. I do see us accumulating more inventory. There are going to be people that say, I see what's happening. I don't know if this record price is going to be out there for me to grab forever. Let me go and grab it. So I do see inventory going up, but we're at, being less than 1 million homes available when you have this much demand, and buyers are still, I wouldn't call it savagely like a savage demand, but because of the lack of inventory, it is creating savages for our buyers. But I don't know that we have just this overwhelming demand because of how many people have bought the last couple of years. It's more of a case of how few homes that we have. We get some more of this inventory. Maybe you start to see, he talks about it here in this article, days on market go up. That'd be a really healthy thing, because then you start to see more and more sellers come out of the woodworks because they could say, well, I'll have the time to go find my house.
Find something, right.
People are holding back because they don't have any time.
Right.
What else has caught your eye in this article? I know you had to go through all the screenshots, Nicole.
I had to go through screenshots. There's so many graphs to digest in here. No, I mean it all is going back obviously to the inventory. I mean, again, there's not really much of a huge surprise here. I mean, he just wraps it up into 4 different gifts for you, in terms of, there are so many, and you're a graph lover, so
I love the graphs. You can put it up, Bobby. The end of month inventory of unsold listings as of January 2022. And you can see the trend line being at 860,000 homes currently available across the country. It's far too low. We've got to get closer to 1.5 million or to 2 million for this market to even out, for buyers to feel like they have a chance, and for more sellers to feel like they have a chance to find their home. That's where we even this market out. 1.5 to 2 million homes being at 860,000 homes available across the country. We're still going to create this, bidding war and prices going up to a level that they're starting to potentially not be sustainable at the growth rate. I think the prices that we're at right now aren't actually too bad, but the growth rate continuing month and month, where they continue to go up, that's where it starts to get a little tricky. But where they're at right now compared to what you can build them for, I'm not as concerned. The other thing that caught my eye is this confidence index survey from 2000. So February 2022. So this past February to February 2021, the light blue. So pop that graph up there, Bobby. First-time home buyers. This is the percent of sales. So first-time home buyers has dropped from last year to this year. 29% of buyers so far in 22 have been percent of buyers have been first-time home buyers. 31% last year. Sales to investors, second home buyers, 19% this year, so up 2% to 17% last year. Cash sales up to 25%. 1 out of 4 sales are cash sales. It was 22% last year. Distress sales, still 1% of sales are distressed last year and this year. Shows you that this, forbearance and all this stuff has not created an avalanche of distressed sales. And then days on market is down 2 days this year from 20 last year to 18 this year. So
I'm actually surprised it's not more than that, but
yeah, well, it was still, it was crazy last year. It's just like you would have thought last year was the bottom. So for it to go even lower, I think has been a little bit crazy. But I thought this was a really well done article. Of course, that's why they put the paywall up. But that's why you follow The Real Word. Make sure you're subscribed so that we can keep breaking down paywalls for you.
And if anyone wants to throw me a text, I'll send you over the screenshots.
Yes. Send Nicole a DM on Instagram.
Send me a DM and I'll send you over the screenshot so you can read the article yourself too.
Nicole White, Realtor. The Realtor. Send her a DM. She'll send you all 15 of the screenshots I sent her today.
It's a good read. It's a good read.
Yeah, make sure you're subscribed. If you're on Spotify or something, if you're listening, please hit us up with a review. And if you're on YouTube, consider subscribing. We'll keep breaking these paywalls down for you. All right, racket number 2, Nicole. Market Watch, no paywall here. Want to know why the housing market is so competitive? All you got to do is look at this one metric. So the savagely unhealthy market is saying that it's inventory, but the reason we have no inventory, according to a new report from Redfin, says it's because the typical homeowner is spending too long in their home. As of 2021, the typical homeowner has spent 13.2 years in their house. That's up significantly from a decade ago. Back in 2012, the average homeowner tenure was only 10.1 years. I often say, if you're going to buy a house, love the location, make sure you're going to stay there for 7+ years. I may have to add that, I may bump this up to 10 years, but no, market cycles, you could typically look at 7 years, depending on the market, but people are staying in their homes for 2 market cycles, 13, 14 years.
Well, okay, so but it's interesting though, because if you do the math on that, that lands us right into 2006. So let's also be honest though, too, it's probably taken 13 and a half years for people to even get their flipping money back. So
in the Northeast, for sure.
Definitely
Some
in our
parts.
area, it's taken us that long to get back. So I'm not surprised that people are staying longer because they had to stay
But
longer.
we were talking about California when we were last week's episode, when we were talking about that new tax on flippers, and it was up over 10 years there. So
Yes.
a lot of people are staying in their homes for a long time. Now, the last 10 or so years, we've had pretty low interest rates, historically low interest rates, certainly for the last 5 outside of 2018. We've had these really low interest rates. If you get locked in, if you got locked in last year to under 3, you're never going to want to give up that house.
Oh,
You're
well, I
better
have
off
a friend.
renting it someday.
Well, I was talking to my girlfriend. They locked in. They did a VA. They locked in at 2.25
It'd be
last year.
insane to sell that house.
Well, the problem is that I think I remember having this same problem maybe back in like maybe 12 or 13. No, maybe it was a little later than that. But again, people didn't want to sell their homes either because it was going to cost them more with their new house too. So again, it really froze the market a few years ago too, because people it was going to cost them more to move.
And here's the thing with like conveyance taxes, this new tax that we talked about. If you didn't see last week's episode, definitely go check it out, where California wants to create this new tax. And if you sell your house within 7 years, you're going to have this additional tax on your profits. And within the first 3 years, it was 25%. It was insane.
Yeah.
So, if you start to see these increase in taxes, the increased cost of selling your real estate, then why would you sell it? You'd be better off holding as an Airbnb.
And our inventory problem will never go away.
Right. You're just going to keep compounding this inventory problem over time if people don't want to sell their homes. Zillow says there's going to be this great reshuffling. People are going to be moving more and more. If you listen to Natalia, the CEO of Proppy, she believes we're going to go from 7 million home sales to a world where we're living in 10 to 14 million home sales per year, when Gen Z and millennials are buying and selling on the blockchain, because it's going to make the ease of transaction, so much smoother, and you're going to be able to do it quicker and all this kind of stuff. But if it costs money due to, the government and the towns, levying these taxes on the sale, then it may just become cost prohibitive to sell. Now, the one place, Nicole, people will point to loosen up the cost of selling. What do you think? What do you think? A lot of people will say, well, let's just dig into the commissions. Do you think it'll be that? Yeah, I think there's a lot of people saying that. I actually heard at the Proppy event. I don't know if you're following Proppy, but if you're listening and you're not following Proppy, check out what they're doing. Really interesting stuff. They're putting transactions on the block. But I did hear one of the first speakers at the Proppy event. I got this DM after I put up the pod with Natalia, that one of the first speakers said, we're going to see a world where agents are at 1% to make these transactions even smoother and more streamlined. So everybody's trying to dig at that number.
Well, I mean, we're already seeing, I mean, I think one agent locally was offering out $500. Like, she wasn't even offering out
What
a
was that?
percentage.
Was that a real agent, or was that just list on the MLS type of thing?
No, it was a real
A
agent. She
real agent.
she she was selling her own property, and she put $500 on there,
Oh, it's her own property.
and
As
everybody
as
was
the
questioning
co-broke, as
it.
what she was
Yes, what
offering
she
to the
was
buyer's
offering
agent.
out. Yeah, and again, there's this big uproar within the office because, obviously our manager sent it out and said, "Be aware that if you're taking your client this weekend to look at this house, the co-broke was $500." And
That
one
was
of
in
the
Connecticut.
it was in Guilford,
Wow.
and again, one of the agents said that she called and questioned it, and the lady said, "I don't need to offer more than
Well,
$500 in this
she's right.
market."
She
Yeah,
doesn't. Well,
right,
I mean, she can do whatever she wants. You
right.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
uh,
yep.
there's not much you can do about it. It is what it is.
It
Obviously,
is what it
a
is.
buyer has to negotiate their value to,
Mhm.
or the buyer agent to the
To the
buyer.
buyer to see
Yeah.
make the buyer pay. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's knocking. I mean, most co-brokes now are down, a banana or two at this point on the MLS. So,
It's still the most interesting thing that can disrupt Zillow's model is if the buyer commission gets completely disrupted. And that's way off topic at this point. But yeah, so people staying in their homes longer,
back to staying in your home for 13
back
years.
to staying in your home. We went down the whole entire
We
dark path and
totally
circled
went
back.
down. Yeah.
I don't know, Nicole. What do you think this continues to go? It actually dropped slightly between 2020 and 2021. It was at 13 and a half years. Now it's at 13.2. Will it start dropping? I mean, I don't know. Interest rates go up. It could go back the other way.
Yeah, again, it's a hard one. I mean, they're obviously talking about the baby boomers, and it's sort of age driven as well. I mean, I know, like, my parents, like, they like to keep their house. They're keeping their house. They're not selling it. I mean, but they have a house in Ireland too. But they're keeping their family house because they need to keep room for all of us to come home if we ever decide to. So, um, I don't know. It's all very interesting. I
Yeah.
don't. Again, I don't. It's hard to even know what would cause anybody to sell. Again, luckily they have a second home. I think that would be the only reason that you would then decide to sell because you have a place to go.
There's this
Um,
belief out there that Gen Z is going to move very often, like every couple of years. I don't know. It's hard to move. Somebody have to make moving easier. The bills, the mail, the furniture, there's just all of that. So I don't know that we get to a place ever where people are just like,
well, and again, like you're saying, the cost of moving is so much. I mean,
yeah, being
then they'll just stay in the rentals, like just hop around in the rentals.
being
Um,
comfortable moving every 2 to 3 years. I don't
yeah,
know. As you get older, you get stuff, you get kids, you get, nonsense in your life, and it just
lots of nonsense.
becomes hard to move. All right. Marketeer of the week over to Realtor Mag, the most popular time to search for homes online. So, if you've got a listing coming up, you
Hmm.
want to pay attention to this. And this is when you want to make sure you're marketing to potential home shoppers. The most popular time of the week to search for homes is, Nicole,
You want me to do it?
I'd love for
It's
you to do it.
Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Tuesday at 8. Your favorite day to list the home, Nicole, is when?
My favorite day is to list is a Thursday.
In this market, I believe the stats are showing us that the best days on a Friday with a
Mhm.
3-hour open house Saturday and Sunday. But you made a great point pre-show. If you're going to list Thursday or Friday end of the week, it's kind of the same thing. But what do you want to do before that?
Well, you 100 now that, you have the ability to do the coming soon. I mean, slap her on Monday. You have your whole weekend planned. I mean, it's such a better way to attack it. And again, now that we're finding out that people are searching Tuesdays at 8 p.m., you're obviously going to be grabbing them too as a coming soon. So
I like how you said slap it on the
slap it on
coming
there on
soon.
a Monday. I mean,
So
you're only required to have, I think, what, 2 photos. So you don't even have to have your photography done in order for it to go up as a coming soon. So, throw some photos up there, get the people excited, and then
so
you wrap it up over the weekend.
So here it is. We've come up with the best formula for listing a house when and how. You want to go coming soon on Monday. So you give
Mhm.
all the portals 24 hours so that the best time people are searching for homes is Tuesday at 8 p.m. So your coming soon is showing and populating at Tuesday at 8 p.m. List the house live Thursday or Friday, 2 open houses Saturday and Sunday, and go through the offers Monday and Tuesday.
For sure. I think
That's the
what's real
formula.
100 well, and what's nice here too, to be again, I was talking about it before the show too. I mean, if you're looking for business too, I mean, if you know that folks like Tuesday at 8 p.m. is the most popular time, maybe that's the time to throw out your emails or
Yep.
again, add something of value like, hey, thinking about buying, like hit up this mortgage guy or hey, rates are here this week. You know, they're up from last week. Maybe it's a good time for you to start buying or pick up the phone, do your follow-ups. I mean, clearly they're looking. Clearly that's the time that there's the most traffic. So utilize it if they're going to be sitting there on their computers looking at homes. I mean,
this was a study done at Redfin, and the researchers say that's after regular work hours, post dinner, pre bedtime, smack dab in the middle of the work week. So I'd agree that home shoppers are probably, cruising and looking. They start to schedule,
yeah.
later in the week on a Thursday. Maybe they're starting to schedule for their weekend, maybe Thursday, Friday. But this is when they're trying to figure out what could we potentially look at end of the week or the weekend.
Yeah.
Makes
I mean,
sense to me.
it's saying the least active time for real estate listing searches is Friday night.
Yeah, Friday
Makes
night.
sense.
You've probably made your plans
You're
either that morning or Thursday or Wednesday,
right.
and you're getting out of work. You're grabbing a pizza pie or whatever you're doing,
Or a cocktail.
or if you're Nicole White, you're grabbing a cocktail.
You're grabbing a cocktail.
Yeah, that dry January seems like a long time ago for you, huh?
Seems like such a long time ago.
Yeah,
I'm still in it. I'm still like I'm damp. I'm doing like a damp a damp 22. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what was 21? You were soaking wet.
I
You were
mean,
just
I was
drenched.
pretty drenched. That was
You're swimming in it.
I was savagely damp. Yeah.
Savagely boozed up.
It was pretty savage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a hard
Mhm.
market, 21.
It
So
was yeah, I mean, I was living life, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. All right. There you go. That's the week. Next week we're gonna be live together for the pod.
Woo!
We'll be
So
at
fun.
Mohegan Sun Casino.
Are we gonna have a guest?
Well, we're going to, I would say that we will force a big name to pop in for one segment because we are doing his podcast right before
Mhm.
at Mohegan Sun. So
You're not even gonna tell anybody who it is?
it's Tom Ferry. We're gonna have
Yep.
Tom Ferry back on the pod.
It's been a few years. It's been
It has
3 years now? 2 years since we've had him on?
it was before COVID when we were at
Yeah, it was
Mohegan
definitely
Sun.
before COVID. The year before, so it had to have been
Yeah.
19, so had to have been 3 years ago then.
So we'll do one segment of next week's show with Tom Ferry. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that. Love for you again to review if you're listening to the audio. Nicole, have a great week. Everybody
Yeah,
out
you
there,
too,
have a great
thanks.
week. Love for your comments. When are you listing your houses? Do you agree with that formula? And do you agree that this housing market is now savagely unhealthy?
Savagely.
That is going to be my word of the week.
The week?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Savage.
Mhm.
LFG. Let's go.